In 9 paintings, Megan and I are going to take you from basic to fabulous. Welcome to the 9th Muse Academy of Art.
We teach fine art lessons for children 5 to 95. Join our community now and become an official Musie.
We're going to teach you everything so you can paint and draw anything. Today, we're going to do a level 1 drawing of the beach. And pretty basic. It's a level 1, step 1. Next time, we're going to be doing a little bit more awesomeness, put some rocks and detail in there.
And then on our last step, we're going to switch the whole thing up. We're going to switch palettes, make it really dramatic, and add in a little tiny boat.
And this is, you're going to see why we call it big sky versus cloudy coast. There's going to be a dramatic shift right there. I'm excited for this one. It looks deceptively easy at this step. But this one, we're going to guide you through that so yours doesn't look stupid. Okay. So let's come here and look at this one,
The painting.
And so this is your reference. Let's switch over to the card now.
So for step 1, the first thing we're going to do is map out our composition. On this card, we did this with paint, but I think Sarah and I today are going to do this first in charcoal just to make sure you guys can really see where all of our lines need to be going.
Right. So the first objective is composition. Yes. Because if you don't get this composition right, it's deceptively hard with it. It's going to look stupid. The next, we're going to go over brush strokes and how to make these different details in the wave with a brush stroke.
Our last objective today is going to be blending and creating gradients so that we get this beautiful blue gradient from the furthest part of our ocean and then getting slowly lighter into our coastline.
Again, we're in the Big Sky palette, which is titanium white, cadmium red, cadmium yellow, ultramarine blue, and raw umber.
Okay. So first, should we go ahead and charcoal and then I'll read out that paragraph?
Yep. Okay. So you're going to read it. I'm going to show it. So let's come here.
And I'll just read it?
Yep.
All right. So on the card for step 1, it does say to mix ultramarine blue and titanium white to make a medium blue. Using your big brush, cover 2/3 of the canvas, leaving the space along the bottom. Then mix cadmium yellow and raw umber to create a dark yellow color. We're going to be using this and your angle brush to draw in the beach at a step-like pattern. So
the step-like pattern is what kicks most people's butt.
Yes.
So this is all going to be blue. This is going to be the sand color. If you look back at your reference, go look at your card again. Not you, Ron. You person, you go look at the card, okay? And I want you to really look at this wave. So many people go, it's waves, but it's a step. That last little bit of that step. You come here and you look how far this comes up on your canvas. So you're going to get the horizon line right here.
In the top third of your canvas.
Top third. Probably bring it down a little bit. And then you're going to notice how where this line starts, goes, and ends. This one starts about right here, about halfway through. And this one ends clear down there. And it is a step. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. You're going to go straight out and then down. Now, your waves are not going to be these steps, but we're going to start off with a drawing with these steps. And then go here and curve them like this. Okay, that's a good beginning step here. I don't know, drawing here. Now, I want you to step back and look at your proportions and see if this is correct. Is yours, I can't tell from my angle, is yours too far up?
I put it at about less than half.
I think mine was the same. It just looks bigger.
Yeah, less than half.
Okay, and now she's flowed in a bunch of lines.
I pulled them out.
Now go here. Do you see how she is carving those lines until you get the line you want? So you're going to erase the lines until you find that line. So for instance, I'm going to come here and very loosely do it a few times. Then I'm going to come and carve out that line till you see the line that I actually want. You erase a lot. If you erase as much as you draw, then your drawing is going to be really good. So, and then one thing, if you notice that you've come here and made this step go up and then down. Oh, you're right. And so it goes like literally flat. It's flat. And then the bottom goes bloop. So it goes flat, and mine don't go bloop enough. So it goes flat and then around, and then flat
and then around.
Yes.
They look kind of like little fingers.
Yeah. And some of these like really go clear in. Like this one goes here and then over. Mine needs to come like that. And this big step right here is made by a bottom little stem. Do you see that? So this one is really flat. Megan, you are really good at doing nice loose lines. You probably want to erase until you find the lines that you want.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to go erase for a little bit here.
Now it is charcoal. So we're going to have to erase it before we put on the stand color. Not necessarily blue. Blue will be fine. And I'm going to take this off a little bit and just slightly go like this to get the charcoal off. If you don't like doing it with your hands, just get a cloth. Oh my heavens, we don't have cloths.
Oh.
So let's go over your supplies, because obviously we didn't. We have our palette, our paints, our brushes, palette knives, cups, charcoal erasers, spray bottles. No towels. Yeah, so this is the magic of cinema. Yes, I'll get it. And all of a sudden I'm going to be like, oh, I have a rag.
Well, why don't you start mixing paint? Because that's the next step. And then I'll go grab them.
Oh, so smart. So smart. Okay, so let's look at the palettes. And in step number 1, I'm going to be using my ultramarine blue and titanium white. You're going to need your mixing medium too if you want to. You're going to use your big brush afterwards, but right now we're going to use our palette knife. We're going to come here, make sure our blue and this is white. Our white and our blue are far enough apart on your canvas. And then I put a little bit of mixing medium over here. Now for this, we're going to need a lot of different blues, a whole wide array of blues. So the lighter color is white. So I'm going to make a few different puddles of white here, with this one being the most, a little bit less and a little bit less, like this. Then I'm going to take a 1-to-1 mixture over here. I'm going to take this and mix it in. Now you can't tell, this mixing medium is doubling my paint and making a slower dry time, but it doesn't change the color. You can't tell because it's white. But if I was mixing into my blue, the blue wouldn't go lighter. And I'm just going to mix it in so I have a little bit more flexibility with how thick I want the paint. If I want it really chunky, it stays chunky, and I can add a little bit of water to water it down for a thinner paint. That mixing medium gives me dry time for my thinner paint, so it doesn't dry up all the way. Now, I'm going to wash off my rag so I don't get any white in my blue. I come here and put my blue in. Now here, you're going to mix a little bit of blue in here, and it's going to make it really dark really fast. Like that. And you're going to have a blue that is just slightly slightly lighter than this blue. That's our goal. Just come take a little bit, just dab your thing in here. Did you get all the stuff, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And literally, all you do here is take the stuff on your palette knife, squish it all off, but then come and go to the next puddle of paint and mix it in. It automatically makes a blue that is slightly lighter than the last puddle. Now, I'm not over mixing. The biggest thing is not to get a flat, consistent color. You're going to want to be able to have little bits of blue, little bits of white, and different variating. It's very important, again, not to have a well-mixed color. You're going to mix them on your brush and on your canvas. And if you want a live, vibrant painting, then you need to make sure that you don't overmix on your palette. And Megan is catching up. Now, do you see how I have made it from dark blue all up to light blue? And I start here, and then when I mix, I don't grab any more blue. I just use a little bit of the blue on my knife to mix it into the next puddle. Brilliant, I say. Brilliant. And then at the very end, you're going to need a little bit more white.
Well, we're going to need some white for...
Yeah.
Well, we'll need some later, if anything.
Some later. I'm just going to put... You don't need a whole lot. Scrape in the last of it. Like this. Okie dokie. And I will... come here. Now, let's look at me actually painting. Actually, no, Ron, don't do that yet. We're going to baptize your rag.
Your brush.
Thank you. We're going to come here and pull it through these dark ones. And we're going to add a lot of water. We're trying to find a lighter blue, but it's still dark. And do you see how I've mixed up just a little, like even a darker blue than this? Really fast and easy. And this is going to be the first coat, so you're going to need a lot of water. Don't make it soup. Like it. Okay, Ron, let's go over here and look at my canvas. We're going to take, and you're going to hold your brush up like this and pull it down like this. If you do tiptoe, if you hold it like a pencil, look at the difference on how much paint you get on there. We're going to want a thin layer, but we're going to actually want paint on our canvas. And that is why we hold our brush at the end of our brush and like an ice cream cone. We're going to still tiptoe, but then we're going to bring it down. Pick up some more paint. And we're going to go back and forth, side to side, up and down. We're not coming here and going flat and doing a straight line. This is the first coat. We need to get it all over like this, nice and thin. If your paint's too thick at this point, you're going to get paint pimples. So it means that the paint underneath it is going to paint or dry slower. And then even if you blow dry it, it's not going to be dry underneath, and it's going to cause issues. So do a very, very thin coat over the whole thing. Now we're going to come here, twist your brush like this, and go straight across, and then down. Straight across, and then down. And we're going to create a little barrier right here. It's okay, again, if this charcoal gets a little bit into our blue because this is the first coat. Remember, the tops of your waves need to be flat. They shouldn't go up. If you need to correct your drawing right here, you can. Make this as flat as you can, but again, this is your first coat, people. This is not your final layer. That's one thing I see with novices a lot. They'll just paint it like this and then be like, oh, look, I'm done. You're like, oh, you're done with the first layer. Good job. There we go. So once you've gotten that first layer of paint down, we're going to take off the charcoal and mix up our sand color. It's easy to take off the charcoal. It's called an eraser. You can also just use your rag, a clean, dry rag. You come here and it takes off most of that charcoal. Just like that. Your sand color is the yellows are a little bit more transparent, and we're not going to use as many layers on them. So we don't want a lot of charcoal mixed into your paint. Now, what does that card say and how to mix that color? Go ahead and pull that card up again. And it says we're going to need an angle brush for this one, cadmium yellow and raw umber. We're going to mix those up to make a dark yellow color. I think we're going to add a little bit of white too.
We use white to add some tones to it.
Okay.
Lighten it.
We're going to take a cadmium yellow and a raw umber. We're going to mix it together to make a beautiful sand color. You're going to need a white, just a little bit, to create that light tone. And this brown is a blue shade. Has a little bit more blue than any other color. So let's look at this and mix it up. We have this beautiful brown color. Now, we're going to put the brown into the yellow, because if we put the yellow into the brown, it's going to take a lot of yellow to make this lighter. But it just takes a little bit of brown, if I can put this on, in here to make it lighter. You're going to take your palette knife, and I want you to watch me do this, is you're going to come here, take your palette knife, and you're going to do a little test. You see how you have to add a little bit of white in here to make it a lighter color. So come back to your palette, and you're going to add just a tad bit of white. Actually, it'd be better just to put the color into white. So you have different colors. And plus, you're going to need a lot of white into there. Then again, you take this beautiful color here. Let's do a color test again. We're going to come, and it's about the right color, right? This is going to be our base color. So the mixing recipe is a lot of yellow, a little bit of brown, and about medium white. That's the color mixing to get this beautifulness. Okie dokie. So with that, I'm going to clean off my rag. You're going to want to use your angle brush so you can get right into all these nooks and crannies. I love my angle brush. If you look back at the palette, you notice how I haven't mixed it all the way. I'm going to come and pull it through. No witching brew. No witching brew. Pull it across, add a little bit of water. Just kiss it. Don't baptize it this time. We don't want it too thin, because we're going to have a nice crisp edge. You look at my canvas right here, and we're going to use the side of your brush to go straight. You can do it this way too. It's whatever feels comfortable. Like I want to come in here and cut it and then go down. I can also use the top of my brush like this if I want a little thicker line. And there we go. Get that line. I'm going to cover over my charcoal. Right? I feel like this layer is like the crumb layer if you ever iced a cake. You put this on, it gets a little bit dirty with the different charcoals or whatever is underneath it. You keep it thin before you put the final coat on, like this. There we go. we're going to put a nice middle tone throughout all of this. And guess what you can do? Look how beautiful this is. You turn over your canvas like this, and all of a sudden, you can get that edge really easily. And let's time lapse. So we're going to do step number 2 called toning. Toning is a fancy word. If you're any art majors out there, you're going to be like, Sarah, this is shading. Actually, this is toning.
It is actually toning. We're going to tone first and then
shade value. We're going to darks and lights. We're going to make the do you see darks and lights?
I'm still upside down.
We're going to make this horizon line go from dark to light here, and the sand kind of goes from light and then it has a shadow underneath it. We're going to do that. So if you look at your card, mix a small amount of titanium white into your dark yellow, creating a light sand color. Use this to create a lighter tone in the beach area. So we're going to work on the beach first. After that, we're going to use pure ultramarine blue to darken the water nearest the horizon line. Blend down in loose sweeping strokes to define the water movement. So it's very important for you at this point to have lots of different blues, all the different tones of blues on there to be able to do this more effectively. And it helps if you have at least a couple of different yellows. So if you haven't done it, go ahead and mix some more on your canvas. It makes your life easier. Okay, so let's look at the canvas, or not the canvas, the palette thingy. Let's look at the palette thingy. You see that we have a bunch of different yellows, a bunch of different
different blues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
While you're here, because I can't say blues half the time. Okay, so let's start with the lighter blue, and we're going to go darker for the shadow. So on our canvas, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the light. And you know what? Again, tip it upside down.
It's easier to aim this way.
We're going to create this little bit of lighter color.
So for this beach, which direction is our lights and our darks going?
So this one, typically as you get closer to something, it gets darker. But because this beach is so little, it's going to be it's not going to go from dark, light, dark, because the dark underneath here is created by the ocean waves. And that would just be getting too fancy, people. On top of that, when sand gets wet,
it gets darker.
It gets darker. So water does different things than the standard rules of like water, not water, tones.
Tones in your like horizon line. We always say light lives on the horizon line. But as we'll see later, that water right there is very dark.
Right. I'm going to make it lighter than I think because acrylic dries darker.
Yeah.
So go just a little bit lighter than you want it to be. And you're going to, do you see how I'm laying it down with the flat on my brush, and then I'm doing a lot of tiptoeing. So naturally, I'm holding it more like a pencil. And then I'm moving my handle awkward to lay down the paint. Make sure you use both sides. And then tiptoeing. Then I have a nice light tone. I'm going to grab at the middle tone. And I'm going to mix it in with a tiptoe. Like this. I'm feeling the resistance when I'm painting, so I'm going to just kiss my water. So the resistance, it doesn't suck.
So it flows more easily.
Thank you.
If your paint is getting kind of tacky or starts like feeling like it's scratching almost or dragging across the canvas, grab some water, then you paint out just a little, and it'll smooth out easier.
So we're going to come and create the wet sand, and it's going to be along the same line as that water. Like it's just, the water's going back a little bit. It's not coming towards you, it's coming back, creating this darker part. And I'll have a little bit of a line. I'm adding, and my yellow is not as dark as I want, so I'm just taking of the raw umber to darken it up. Like that. And just that subtle variation in your sand, instead of just painting it pure sand color, is really going to add that extra wow to your painting. It's going to be the difference between, oh, cool, looks like you had fun. Which I say to people whose artwork is, the skills aren't as developed. I never lie.
They had fun.
They had fun. And then when you add this, they're going to go, oh, look at that. I love that. That looks pretty. And be like, how did you do that? How did I do that?
This is how you did that.
If you notice, Megan's contrast is a lot more in your face. You have the light and you have the dark. It's going to create a lot of drama. It's going to make it a little bit more surreal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little different style.
It's like, if you don't like it this much, you can blend it out more like Sarah did by pulling your brush through with some water, and we can soften those hard lines if you don't like them.
More tiptoeing.
Yeah.
Lots of tiptoeing. You just kind of squished it on.
I did. I drew a line.
Okay. Flip it over. Now we're going to come here, and the card says to, the horizon line first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I always say background, foreground, object. And again, there are rules and guidelines to art, but this one is object, foreground.
Does the beach count as an object?
Sure.
It's just the foreground, really.
Okay, wash out your brush. Actually, I'm just going to grab my big flat brush at this point. Because I need to define my water. I'm going to come and take a little bit of a darker blue. Like this. Nice dark again. Pull it through. Twist your brush, pull it through. Get a darker color here. And we're going to come and take that horizon line, like right here. Right here. Pull it across. Nice even stroke. And then we're going to pull it down and twist your brush until you get nice blue across the whole thing. This is the second coat of paint. You see how you see less of the canvas. We're going to put even more paint on this eventually. Kiss my water when it feels like it's resisting. You get little cragglies where you can see the canvas or the layer below it. Now, water is very flat. One thing I do see is where they make the waves at the top of the water. And it's like, no, the waves happen here. The horizon line is flat. And there's no waves. No waves in this one.
Mm-mm.
Let's finish it all the way down to the sand. Let's look at step number 3. Turn over your card, and we're going to create the waves now. Now, again, waves in this picture don't go boop, boop, boop. They're going to follow along the coastline. And this can be very, very tricky. Make sure that you are going straight across down, around. Straight across, down, around. It helps if you try. Anyway. Yes, there's a whole dance to this.
The dance helps you figure it out.
Okay, step number 3. Let's look at your card. Use chalk. Draw the shapes of the waves and fill in the thin layers of white. Mix the small amount of light blue into your sand color to create pale teal. Apply the most top section of your waves to create illusion of transparency. While the paint is still wet, add white on the top of the flowing brush strokes to create light tones. Oh, I'm a liar.
Are you?
Yeah, we're not doing the water. We're doing the
whatever you called this. It's not a wave.
It's not a wave. It's the foam on the sea.
Sure.
Mermaids dying.
Sea foam.
I better explain that one. In the original Little Mermaid, when mermaids died, they became the foam of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I go to the beach, I'm like, hi, mermaids. Dead bodies are... Anyways.
What?
Wow, okay.
Well,
so,
we forgot to do... We started it, but then we didn't. We needed to put the gradient in the sky.
Oh. Was that step number 2? Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Okay, guys. Look at this. We need to come here. Light to dark. Okay?
Yes.
This doesn't go as dark as this. So you're not going to get all the darkness. Are you going to go from light to dark or dark to light?
I'm going to go from light to dark.
I'm going to go from dark to light.
I'm going to put the white down and then blend it up with water.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, so dip your brush. Not a full baptism, not a complete kiss. Grab some of the light blue. You're not going to add white. Remember to back and forth with your brush. Pull it through. We're going to come here, create this line like this. Pull it, pull it, pull it. And then bring it up like this. Now we're going to need to work a little bit fast because we need to do the next layer. A little bit fast. Go faster, Sarah. You're going to grab a little bit of a darker blue. Make sure you have enough water to mix. That's not a dark enough. Gonna course correct a little bit. There we go. That's beautiful. Pull it up like this. And then it get even darker. And blend it in. And then we will make it darker. Just a little bit. Like this. And blend it in. Oh, look at us. Look at us. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. This blue and this blue are not the same blue. They're not. We don't know what blue this was. We have a standard ultramarine blue and Prussian blue. And this was just in there.
It's not either. And also my blue and your blue are also different. And I can't figure out why. Because they came out of theoretically the same bottle. So
we have, well, and that's the thing, people. Blue, doesn't matter if it's pastel, watercolor, oil, or even acrylics. Thank you. It's a pain in the butt. It's probably 2 different brands that we use.
It's probably, we have a different brands of blue. They're all ultramarine blue, but the brand can change the pigments drastically.
And I before we do time lapses, I want to tell you about how Prussian blue is made, which is really gross. But
okay,
I would love to hear about that. Now we are actually ready for step number 3. That is the foam of the sea.
The foam of the sea.
Yeah.
Laps? Is that what you called it earlier?
Well, guys, help us out here. What is
the crest of the wave when it comes in on the shoreline called? We don't know.
And yeah, we're in Utah.
Yeah, we're like I'm actually from Florida.
And I spent a lot of time in California.
And Hawaii.
But we're still dumb. Okay, so use chalk. We're going to use chalk here to draw the shape of the waves. If you want to just freestyle, go ahead and freestyle, but I want to come here and kind of map out these a little bit more. And again, you go straight across and then around. And then straight across. This one has a little bit less of a bloop. And this one kind of has 2 fingers. Ooh, I'm moving my canvas. And really map out where that white is. Like that. I'm gonna wash out my brush. Get some white on there. I'm not gonna take pure white. I'm just gonna take almost white. A little bit of blue. We're gonna take a little bit of the color here, just this blue right here, not white. And I am going to switch halfway through.
You're gonna switch?
Yeah, to my angle brush. Angle brushes give me a little bit more precision in my drawings. So, switcheroo, even after I load it up. And then I'm going to come here and fill this place in. Now, don't just fill in your chalk lines. I see this happen so often where people just fill in what they drew. Go back and forth with your eyes and notice how that wave goes. You go straight across and with your brush. It helps if you do the noise too.
Yes.
I'm going to kiss my water because it's getting craggly. And come here, this one's a little bit more like this. If you have a flowy line here, it's going to make it more natural. Don't try to make a very precise wave here. Get it as close as you can to the reference, but keep that brush really flowing. This one goes down and up like this, really flowing. You're going to get the middle of that wave nice and light. We're going to need to put some light on later, but first we're going to put the teal. How do we mix the teal, Megan?
So with the teal, you're gonna take one of your lighter blues that has a lot of white in it and then mix in a little bit of yellow.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And you see how we're going to need a couple layers because I kind of like that the blue is popping through like a real ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so we have that. I'm going to take off my chalk lines with just a rag like this. Make sure the paint is a little bit dry because you're just squish around your paint. It's not horrible. Need some soft edges, but try not to do that. Okay, let's look at the palette again. Let's talk about how to mix that teal. We have kind of a middle blue. We're going to come here and mix in. We don't need a big palette knife because we're just getting a little bit. And then it's color check time.
Color check.
You come and you look. And I think it looks pretty teal on my palette, but it needs more yellow. So let's come and mix more like this. And I have a little different teals. Let's come back to the color check. Now I'm a little bit too yellow, so I'm going to grab a middle teal and come put it in the middle. Oh, that just looks too yellow. put it in the middle. You know what I'm doing? Trying to color check with a different blue. Yeah, that's not working very well. If you're going, it's important if you want to do a master reproduction that looks exactly like the picture to have the right color palette. So many times it's like, I can't mix the color because you have the wrong blue. I think a little bit more blue. I don't think I'm going to get it, but I'm going to try to get it similar, right?
We're just going for a tealy color. And it's going to look different on your palette than it does on the painting. So if anything, hold it up to yours and then see.
There you go. I'm going to put the white back around it. And then I'm going to need pure white to really pop this thing. Okay, soften the edge a little bit. I'm not getting a nice, beautiful teal because I have brown in my yellow. And so I'm going to come here and take some pure yellow and mix my blue in to get the teal because I was just struggle bussing. So if you're having the same problem, make sure you come here, take a little bit of this pure yellow, mix it in. You're going to get a more vibrant teal. Got it? And then if you look at the canvas, as I put this on, oh, that's yellow. It's yellow. As I put it on eventually, there we go. We're going to get that popping through and it's not going to be so muddy. And that is what we want. We want this beautiful strokes. I am using my paint too thick. I want to make sure I have lots and lots and lots of water so it flows with this. And do you notice my brush stroke, it kind of goes here and then go whoop, here, whoop, like that. Okay. I'm going to lighten up this area right here and keep these areas darker. I'm going to just add some awesomeness here in the middle. But right now I'm just focusing on getting these waves light with a nice, I'm going to darken underneath the waves even more to create that wet sound underneath. So again, let's watch me do it. We're going to change our technique a little bit. Instead of doing nice swoopy swappies, we're going to come here and just kind of tap. We just want to create these nice choppiness of those waves. Kind of mix things in a little bit and just kind of kiss the canvas a little bit to create these nice waves. Just like that. And now
Mm.
it is time to step back and analyze our stuff and figure out our shoreline before we go into the actual ocean. So it's a very, 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 very important, people, to step back and analyze your work. We've been sitting here for quite a bit now.
Yes.
Get off your butt. Step back, okay? So I'm going to step back. I'm going to go back and forth. And I notice that my colors are kind of muddy. And I'm lacking this beautiful flow line of the blue that goes all the way through.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So what about you? I like your color palette better. I think you have less yellows in there.
Mm-hmm. I think I need to go in with the darker blues, like a medium, and really define that before I add any more white.
Right. And I think brush stroke wise, if you notice here, you're literally making steps. Come here with your brush and go loop, loop, and one nice stroke.
Okay.
Because they're steps, but not like physical steps.
I'm just scared.
You're just scared?
Yes.
Why are you scared?
Because I feel like if I lose the step mentality, then it's just going to fall apart.
We've done this before.
Yes.
And it went woo with a waterfall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try. I'm using a medium blue and I'm gonna put that in.
Okay. Good. You've stepped back. Let's analyze it. Let's finish the final strokes of this before we go on to step number 4, which is define the water. We have a few more minutes and go. So you're going to look at your card. We're going to do step number 4. Define the water. Mix 3 distinct shades of blue. We already did. Cool. We're awesome. Add a small amount of raw umber to darken and titanium white to lighten. So we're going to deepen this blue by adding the brown. The brown is blue shade, so it'll work. Block in the dark blue using wavy defined brush strokes, starting at the horizon line and blending down and outward. Next, blend in your middle blue, following the same pattern. Finally, add your light blue crest to the wave, allowing the colors to softly blend.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at this painting. You're going to see dark to light. We're going to create this deepening of the blue by adding a little bit of that raw umber.
Just to take it one step deeper.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my palette knife here and just add a little bit in. And then we're going to really talk about your brush stroke. If you don't hold this angle brush correctly, it's going to be a lot harder for you. So we're going to want to hold it just right to make that beautiful wave. We've already talked a little bit about that with Megan. How you're going to pull it across, go bloop. Pull it across, go bloop.
Pull it across, go bloop.
Sometimes when you're teaching, you end up like with these little songs.
Yes. Or like catchy things. Because they work. Like the students will laugh at us, but they work. You'll remember it.
They definitely will. Make sure your brushes, I love this. Your brushes are all cleaned out and beautiful. You've been even talking about Rembrandt. And if you want to listen to all the Rembrandt stories, watch our lives. Right now is the edited version where you don't have to listen to us.
That's true.
Yes. We have 2 different things. If you're watching us live, we have an online course, so you don't have to listen about Rembrandt. and just focus on your painting, which is fine.
Just fine. But I think it's more interesting.
It is more interesting. Angle brush. We're going to come here. We're going to load up our brush. Again, pulling it through, twisting. Holy Hannah.
Your hand.
It's my hands. Guys.
The differences between.
Wow, I don't even know how.
I don't know.
Okay. Pulling it through. You're going to have a nice crisp edge. It's very, very important to have a crisp edge. This stroke starts here. It goes down, swish, down, swish. So we're going to define that first. We're coming here, going across. It's a little bit not smooth. And so we're going to come dip it in. We're going to go past the halfway mark. So it comes clear out here. You're going to want to do this step like right here. No, you don't follow this step. It has to come out clear here and then go swoosh, and then here and then swoosh. It's going to follow the shoreline, but be further back. Then I'm going to fill in this whole space with this nice dark blue. I like that. It's almost Prussian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost Prussian that has blood in it. Wonder if they still put blood.
I don't think so.
Probably not. I don't know. We're going to have to deep dive into that next. Next one. All the colors and where they came from. But anyways, come here. And pull this across like this. Tiptoe to make it squish all together. Add a little bit of water. I added a little bit too much water, so it's just lifting from the paint. And keep your brush strokes even up here, kind of like whoop, to create that movement. A lot of painting is your brush stroke. It doesn't matter what color you're putting down or whatever. It's all about that brush stroke. So now I'm going to take a little bit lighter blue and come in here. Ew.
Oh.
No. I don't like the brown in the lighter blue. And I need it darker, and I think I can get some. I've used all here. Let's look at the palette. I made it all darker. So I need pure blue to make a darker blue that doesn't have that raw umber in it. Like this. I think my rag. See, guys, I figured it out. Look at my rag. Look at her rag. Yes. Yeah. This is the difference. This is why my hands look this way. It's really your rag. And I sit there and I get on my students who are just like me and have paint everywhere. And we talk about the rag and how important it is. Now, when they're just like me, they just kind of tend to be everywhere and thinking about not their painting. And then you turn into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So now I have a little bit darker blue right here. Then when I come back to my picture, yeah, see, is not so bad. I'm going to take this little bit of darker blue to blend it. I'm not washing out my brush between the two colors so they blend really nice. And get this middle blue in there. Like this. And we're just going to continue this through the whole painting. So we need to come here and analyze your artwork. I start putting on the major strokes and stuff. I want you to look at all the different details. She had an happy accident and actually splattered her artwork with water, not water, with white, and it created these nice little bloop bloops. Again, step back at this point, put the final touches on it, and that's step number 5. If you look at your card, finishing touches details, create depth by adding a thin layer of medium blue to where the water and waves meet. Then, using pure white, add highlights to the crest and reflection of the waves. Waves. There's no waves, huh?
No, it's just one wave.
With the tip of your brush and light blue, create soft, loose lines that create gentle ripples and movement across the water. It's important to have a light touch and lots of water on your brush when you do this. Mostly the defining stuff right here. You're going to create a lot of movement with this. Don't overwork your painting. That's my biggest thing. Don't overwork it. It should not be flat. So, finishing touches. For instance, I'm going to look at mine and this one and want to define this a little bit more. I have really streaky stuff. I'm going to blend them a little bit. I really like this line right here, a light blue. And so I'm going to come in here and make a nice solid thing. Work it a little bit. Not a whole lot, but work it a little bit until it's nice and beautiful. So, let's get this done. So we are done. I want you to celebrate your successes, and right now we're going to talk about our successes.
Yes.
I want you to focus on what you did really well. What skill, what color mixing, what drawing, what did you do really well this time? I am going to look at Megan's, and she did the really well. I like the foam and the sea coming out. Your colors were mixed very well. The gradient was beautiful. What's your success?
The steppies.
The steppies.
Yes, steppies.
Good job.
Ooh, you got a lot of movement. Your water looks like water, and I think that's
That is a success.
That is a success, and it's a compliment because water is notoriously kind of tricky to accomplish without it looking like blue smushes. So
Smushies.
yes, so your water really does look like water, and I really love how much depth you got into it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
What was your success?
The waterness.
Yes.
The waterness. Next
Next video, we're going to be moving on to step 2, where we're going to be doing rocks. And mapping and putting more depth into our water. We're really going to push this, and we're going to add some fun, cute little clouds.
I can't wait.
Yes.
So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all those things. If you don't, we'll disappear.
It's true.
Yes.
Make sure to join the group and share your successes with us. We promise we will comment.
Yes, we will. And if you're here in Utah, then come into the paint garden, get your own Calliope pen, and we'll share the successes with you in person.
And join us next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.